44-year-old Roy Elworthy allegedly told campers that if they didn't leave, he'd set their belongings on fire. Fire happened near Southeast 136th and Powell on August 15th. Portland Fire says the man wasn't inside the tent at the time. Today, all that's left are melted pieces of tent and burned wood and other remnants from that fire. Security footage did catch what happened, and that's what helped lead fire investigators to Elworthy. Again, he's said to have made threats to the campers about burning their belongings. He's now charged with reckless burning. There's Elworthy right there. Instead of taking matters into your own hands, the city has a website called One Point of Contact that citizens and business owners can report a camp to.
What they've done is they've kind of funneled that information through one point of contact so that they can find solutions, get information to people, get information to possibly even those campers that might be in their neighborhoods, and hopefully find a safe solution for everyone.
Now, for the crime, Elworthy could face 364 days in jail. His next court appearance is next Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, Devin Haskins live for us. Devin, thank you.